Bonjour, bienvenue sur CMI. On continue avec la correction de l'épreuve d'anglais, niveau BAC, série scientifique, session de 2021 au Cameroun. Section A, Grammar 1. Complete each sentence with the correct expression chosen from those in the brackets. 1. Brenda, did the children enjoy when they were on vacation with their grandparents? So we have each other, one another, themselves. The children, and then enjoy. I enjoy myself, you enjoy yourself, so children enjoy themselves. No, no, yes. The children enjoy themselves. 2. Mr. Atangana. 2. I spoke on the phone last week. Is very much interested in our plan to travel to Limbe. So who, whom, and which, of course. Because of the preposition to, you will use whom. To whom I spoke. No, no. Okay, let's move on. 3. The match had gone on about 60 minutes when a fight broke out between the supporters of both teams. So 4. The match had gone on 4. Not since, not ago. 4. Why? Because go on generally goes with 4. Next, 4. Yesterday, I went to the market and bought some oranges and apple and an apple because singular, so an apple. And finally 5. I badly last night and now have a headache, so I slept. I slept badly last night. Okay, let's move on. 2. Rewrite the following sentences by respecting the instructions in the brackets. 1. Last year, there was an epidemic of cholera in the village. Many people died. Use as a result to join the sentences. So, of course, you will say, last year, comma, there was an epidemic of cholera in the village. As a result, many people died. So we have to change the punctuation. Everything will be similar until village, where you would then say as a result. Then you continue, many people died. Okay, so I'll let you finish the sentence. 2. There is something in this bag. Rewrite the sentence using anything to replace something. Okay, so very simply, there isn't anything in this bag. Yes, because generally speaking, anything is used with the negative or the question. Okay? 3. We are preparing our article for the school journal. Question tag. Aren't we? So we are positive. Then we put a comma, okay, after journal. So you will drop the full stop, you put a comma, and then you ask the question, aren't we? Okay, next. The other passengers will get on the train soon. Then we'll leave. Use as soon as. Okay, very straightforward. Let's go. There are many ways to do this, but I will use one that I feel comfortable with, which is we'll leave as soon as the other passengers will get on the train. Okay, so we will leave as soon as the other passengers, and then I will let you complete the sentence, will get on the train. All right, next. Are the children going to visit their grandparents this weekend? Asked Susan. Reported speech. Okay, so here we go. Susan asked whether, here we can use whether or if, it's fine. The children were, are the children were going, oh, sorry about that. The children were going to visit their grandparents. Their grandparents. parents. Okay, of course, there is one point that's very important. They grants. Okay, let me just abbreviate this grand. And here, rather than this week or this weekend, it will be that weekend. Okay, so that week. And as usual, being reported speech, you care about what? About the if, and then you change. Are the children becomes were the children. To visit doesn't change. The grandparents this, that weekend. Those are the keys. So grants is just an abbreviation. Okay, let's move to the next section. Section B, vocabulary 1. Fill in the blanks with the appropriate words or expression of your own. Okay, so 1. The girl didn't buy the blue dress because it was too. She didn't have enough money. Okay, we're talking about money and you don't have enough of it, which means, and you couldn't buy it, then the dress was too, of course, expensive. Okay? Your own word, expensive. 2. The classroom is dark. I can't see what's written on the chalkboard. Can you please open the door and to let in some light? Of course, here, if you're opening the door, you also need to open what? The windows. Okay? Number 3, the old man has been vomiting for some time now. He needs to go to the hospital to see a GP. We generally call them GP, general practitioner. A general practitioner. 4, the principal went to buy some for the physics lab. Some physics labs equipments. Yeah, some equipments. 5, some Cameroonians speak English and French. Of course, when you speak a language, you speak it fluently. Okay, fluently. Right, that's it. Let's move on to the next section. 2, complete the blank spaces with the correct words from the list in the brackets. There are more words than you will need. Okay? So, number 1, the was postponed to Monday 5 p.m. So we had to wait for a long time at the airport. All right, so airport, the flight. Okay? The flight was postponed to Monday 5 p.m. So we had to wait for a long time at the airport. 2, the powder soap is really efficient. It removes strong from clothes. And so we have soap, clothes, we think of stain. Absolutely. Removes strong stains. Okay. Next. 3, the children were very to talk with their grandparents on the phone. Children are very happy generally. Very happy to talk to. Very happy, very excited. Okay? To talk with their grandparents on the phone. 4, people from this village had suffered from for many months. So you suffered from famine. Okay? Famine. Of course, here detergent, guilty, famine, sorry about this, famine, stains, happy, flight, and plane. Okay. And finally, after the final verdict, Mary was found of the child's death. So, verdict, found, you think of course, guilty. Yes, Mary was found guilty. Okay? And that's it for the second part. Let's move on. My favorite section. Okay, if you have any question or you would like me to explain my answers in French, I don't mind it. Leave it in the comments below. And if you're happy the way things are, subscribe, share the videos. All right, let's move on to section C, reading comprehension. Like I always say, when I have a reading question, I always begin with the question when I have reading comprehension. So here are the questions. In paragraph 1, what are some of the immediate consequences of floods? So already I have an idea of what the text will be about. 2. According to this passage, how are victims of floods affected? Give 2 ways to show how they are affected. 3. Name 2 diseases often found in flooded areas. Identify 2 ways through which floods can contaminate the environment. Why do farmers prefer soil from floodplains and farm field? And 5. If you find yourself in an area which is frequently flooded, what 2 measures would you take to avoid subsequent floods? Great. Let's go back to the text. So we're talking about floods and consequences of flood. Okay. Outweighing negative impacts. That's an interesting title. So outweighing negative impacts. Flooding is a natural phenomenon, even though it can be the result of human activity. It has occurred in several different places and will continue to do so. As most people are aware, the immediate impact of this catastrophe includes loss of human life, damage to property, destruction of crops, loss of livestock, and deterioration of health conditions owing to waterborne diseases. As communication links and infrastructure such as power plants, roads, and bridges are damaged and disrupted, some economic activities come to a standstill as people are forced to abandon their homes. When social activities come to a standstill due to floods, people tend to lose sources of livelihood. Damage to infrastructures cause long-term impacts such as disruptions in potable water supplies, wastewater treatment, electricity, transport, communication, education, and healthcare. Floods also traumatize victims and their families for long periods of time. The loss of loved ones has a deep impact, especially on children. Displacement from one's home, loss of property, and disruption in business and social life has caused continuous stress. Some victims say the psychological impact has been long-lasting. Many people and animals have died in flash floods. Many more are injured and others made homeless. Water supply and electricity are disrupted and people struggle and suffer as a result. In addition to this, flooding brings a lot of disease like pneumonic plague, dysentery, and cholera. Sometimes insects and snakes make their way into the area and cause a lot of havoc. Flooding in key agricultural production areas can lead to widespread damage to crops, fencing, and loss of livestock. Crop losses through rain damage, waterlogged soil, and delays in harvesting are further intensified by transport problems due to flooded roads and damaged infrastructure. In areas of human residency, like in some towns in the center and south regions, floodwaters have been devastating to the surrounding ecosystem. Excessive level of water has disrupted the sewage systems, thus delivering raw sewage into the environment, which is dangerous because of the increased level of bacteria and pollution that invade rivers and other natural ecosystems. The consequences of floods, both negative and positive, vary greatly depending on the location and extent of flooding and the vulnerability and value of the natural and constructed environments they affect. Experts say those that occur in floodplains and farm fields bring lots of nutrients that are deposited in the plains. Farmers love such soils as they are perfect for cultivating some kinds of crops. Okay, so I don't have time, that's why I'm reading fast. And it's a video, you can watch it again if you miss a certain number of points. Okay, let's move to the answers. Question 1. What are some of the immediate consequences of flood? I think if you go back to the text, we define flood. Okay, so here we have, for the answer to number 1, as most people are aware, the immediate impact of this catastrophe includes loss of human life, damage to property, destruction of crops, loss of livestock, and deterioration of health conditions owing to waterborne diseases. Okay, and then there are many other examples, so I don't need all of this. That will be more than enough to answer question 1. Now let's move to the next question. That's question 2. Okay, so question 2 stated, according to this passage, how are victims of flood affected? Give 2 ways to show how they are affected. Okay, so let's go back to the text and look at the impact on the victim. Okay, so we have here the next paragraph. Okay, yes. So here we have the answer to number 2. Flood also traumatized victims and their families for long periods. The loss of loved ones has a deep impact. Displacement from one's home, loss of property, disruption in business and social life caused continuous stress. So yeah, that's part of the answer. Let's see if here we have an element of answer. I mean, here by that, this section, wait, I'm supposed to be here. Yes. Okay. No, so here in this section, we're talking about infrastructure damage. No, so indeed, yes, this is the only part for question 2. Let's move then to question 3. This is the list of questions. And then we were saying, yes, so victims of flood, how are they affected, and give 2 ways to show how they are affected. So we said, so homelessness is one reason, displacement from one's home, traumatic experience that lasts for a long time, loss of livelihood, and so on. So we got all of those examples in the second part of our text, which was actually here. Okay, so we have our reasons and examples here. Okay, moving on to the third question. The third question, name 2 diseases often found in flooded areas. I remember reading that. Okay, yeah. Where are you? Because they talked about pneumonic plague, dysentery, and cholera. Here we go. So for question 3, I have pneumonic plague, dysentery, cholera. Okay, next question. 4. Identify 2 ways through which floods can contaminate the environment. And then, why do farmers prefer soil from floodplains and farm fields? I do remember reading it again in this paragraph. So here we said, yes, so regarding question 4, we talked about disrupted sewage system. Yes, here we go. So question 4, right here, starting here. Excessive level of water has disrupted the sewage system, thus delivering raw sewage into the environment. Dangerous because increased level of bacteria and pollution invading what? Rivers and other natural ecosystems. And then the other question was related to why farmers love a certain type of soil. Which one? Let's check again the question. Why do farmers prefer soils from floodplains? If you come back to the text, you have the answer to that here. So expert, so that was section A and B. Okay, experts say those that occur in floodplains and farm fields bring lots of nutrients that are deposited in the plains. Farmers love such soil as they are perfect for cultivating kinds of crops. So that's for 4B. Now let's move to question 5, the last in this section. So if you find yourself in an area which is frequently flooded, what 2 measures will you take to avoid? Okay, so this, of course, the answer is not in the text. But I do understand that the soil will move fast and easily without strong trees and maybe a lot of rocks, because if you have a rocky area, it's not easy for the soil to move. It's not going to move, it's not easy. Same as having a lot of trees in an area, you don't have a lot of erosion, let alone floods. Okay, so what can I do? Plant a lot of trees, so plant lots of trees. Okay, and have a lot of green spaces. So create green spaces, gardens, parks, this kind of thing. Okay, so 1, they're quite similar, so I won't call this 2. 2, there is also the importance of, first of all, maintaining irrigation system clean. okay? Like sewer systems must be kept clean. If you've noticed around the cities of Douala and Yaoundé, Bafoussam, and all over Cameroon, the sewer system is generally full of trash. So whenever there is a flash rain, that's it. Everything is flooded. So yeah, that could be a good reason. Okay, let's move to the next section, which is okay. Yes, essay writing. Like I said, if I've been helpful so far, subscribe, share, like, comment. For the essay writing section, I need to have a consequent amount of students before I can invest the time to do it. In French, pour faire des vidéos en rapport avec le essay writing, j'ai besoin d'un certain nombre de personnes parce que ça prend du temps et si la demande est présente, donc je prendrai le temps de faire des vidéos. Donc, n'hésitez pas à préciser si vous voulez que je fasse des corrections sur le essay writing dans les commentaires. D'accord? Et si je vois, je sais pas, 10, 20, 100 personnes qui veulent ces vidéos, donc on peut investir le temps pour le faire. Merci de nous avoir suivis. Nous sommes CMI. À très bientôt pour plus de vidéos. Bye bye.